Welcome back. Couple of points. It's like, hey, Greg, how come you're not in your new little studio in the corner? Can't find a chair yet, but today's the day. Just gonna make a damn decision and find the chair because been lagging on that project. So I'm hoping to make some progress on that today, amongst many other things. It's always something, right? And uh, I mentioned at the start just that brief, great prayer, more will be revealed, that wonderful affirmation of truth, given that um, we are limited minds in an infinite universe of consciousness. And so we might think of ourselves as dollops or points of consciousness, and God, love, source as all of consciousness together. So there's always more to be revealed, to be seen, to be known, to be experienced, to be revealed in our own consciousness. And this is great news. It means we're never done. We can always expand and we can always grow. And this particular point was sort of driven home to me the other night. I kind of, thought maybe I'd invented something fun and neat and wonderful. It's on my Peloton style bike. It's not a Peloton, it's better, but it's a Schwinn of all brands. But I like riding my spin cycle. But I also invented, I put my drum pad. When you're a drummer, you learn something called rudiments. And drummers have been learning these patterns for hundreds of years now. But to learn rudiments with your hands while pedaling on the spin cycle, it is a great multitasking production for those of us who have busy minds. And I was thinking, yeah, I'm kind of glad I thought of this. And then I saw a little short video of one of the greatest drummers in the world. Doesn't matter who it is, just one of the greats currently playing in the world. And he was sitting on his Peloton with his drum pad. And it was like, damn it, it's like, but then it was sort of encouraging to me because then I was thinking, well, great minds think alike, and so he's a great mind. I'd like to think I'm a great mind, but I recall many years ago saying to one of my mentors, well, great minds think alike. And he retorted back, well, so do average ones. So he was always zinging me in that regard. But be that as it may, I was telling this story to another drummer friend of mine, and he goes, be encouraged. That's called, he gave it a name that I think I'd heard in the past, but I really like it. And it's called spontaneous ideation. Spontaneous ideation. And this really holds with this theory that we're all part of universal mind. We're all part of God's mind, and we're all, I guess you might say, we're neurons or cells within the full brain of God, so to speak. And because of that, there are all these great new ideas that are available to each and every one of us. And I was commenting to my friend as we were talking about riding the spin cycle and playing rudiments that it occurred to me that if Thomas Edison had not thought of the light bulb, we would not be living in the dark. Somebody else, in fact, many other people were working on it at the same time, just like every other great invention. There were a lot of guys trying to fly for the first time, a lot of people trying to build the first effective silicon chip at the same time. And yet those ideas landed productively in certain minds that were able to bring them to fruition. So I guess the question is today, here's my question for you this week. Honest question. Would you like to bring new ideas into fruition? Now, in the recovery movement, we hear talk many times of people who sat on bar stools and had the greatest ideas and all the things that they were going to do, and yet they never did them. And then as a result of getting off the bar stool and hanging out in someplace more productive, actually they begin to enact their great ideas and they make some progress. But the topic this week are all the great ideas that could be used by humankind right now that are floating in the ether. And these ideas are looking for, how shall we say, a landing strip, a place to land. Now, what makes it so that a great idea lands in our mind and that we're able to put it to fruition, into expression for our benefit, and especially for the benefit of everybody else? When Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, it certainly helped him financially, reputation, a host of other ways. But boy, did it help a lot of other people. Light in the dark, are you kidding? But how many ideas are out there that could land in our head if we were ready? And so I made a quick roster of 7 qualities that that occurred to me that I think might make any one of us available for a great new idea that would improve our lives and the lives of those around us. And these 7 qualities are, well, first you have to be interested in such a thing. The idea is probably not going to land in the mind of somebody who's uninterested in new things or would dismiss it or disregard it or wouldn't recognize it. How about eager? How about just that beautiful child quality of being eager and fascinated and curious? There's an important quality. How about cheerful? How about just generally cheerful and optimistic and upbeat about the possibilities of life? I think that's an important quality. How about positive? Positive, in other words, not negative. Positive. Things can get better. Things can improve. Think we've not maxed out the ability of things to get better. How about open-minded? How about, nah, that won't work, or that could never happen, or no one's ever going to build a light bulb, or nothing heavier than air is ever going to get off the ground. Great ideas are unlikely to land in that mind, and you know minds like that. How about willing? How about willing to do something with the idea once it landed? The greatest ideas oftentimes land in the mind of people, but they're on a bar stool and they're not willing to do anything with it. And then lastly, the last idea is they're ready to go. They're ready to rock. So this week, are you interested, eager, cheerful, positive, open-minded, willing, and ready? Now, these, of course, are qualities. They're not black and white. We can always improve on them, but I'd like to think that I am, and that I'm hoping that great new ideas land in my head for the benefit of all, and I trust that they will for you too. But we'll go to work on it this week. I'll see you guys tomorrow.